6-digit Canadian tournament. Once again, for a third time, it has finally arrived. Maybe you've been keeping up with OWC and that has piqued your interest on tournaments, or maybe someone advertised this tournament in your OSU messages. You're all here for the same reason, and that is to play this tournament to the best of your ability. However, you might be a little lost, and I completely understand that, especially considering that this might be your very first tournament you've ever played. And I can understand that even more if your gameplay for your 6-digit career has mostly looked like this. Okay, yeah, nice leg spike. Fuck! Regardless of how you got here or what your skill level is actually at, I'm just going to explain a few things in this video for you. Now, tournaments work in a lot of different ways, and I've seen a lot of cool gimmicks for tournaments, but I'm just going to be explaining how this specific tournament works, as well as what slot pooling is and what you can expect for things like Nomad 1, Hard Rock 2, DT3. All of these things might be a little confusing for you, and that's completely understandable. But without further ado, let's get into this, so you too can be a go-to 6-digit player. Six-digit Canadian tournament is just your standard double elimination 1v1 tournament. A lot of experienced players know exactly what this means, but you might not know what it means. Double elimination basically consists of two brackets, the winner's bracket and the loser's bracket. Those knocked down in round of 64 will get a second chance in the loser's bracket, whereas if it was single elimination, if seed 64 loses to seed 1, it's just not a fair shot, you know what I mean? They didn't get to bleed their whole potential out. Now, not only does this maximize the amount of playtime that you guys actually get, it gives everyone a fair shot, because seed 1 versus seed 64 doesn't seem all that fair. So if seed 64 goes down to loser's bracket, they will face a lower seeded player and get a better shot at winning and placing further in the tournament. Seeding. You've heard me mention this and you might be like, what is this guy even talking about? You might not know what it is, and you might not even know how it's determined. Now, your seed placement in this tournament depends on how well you play through the qualifiers map pool during the qualifier stage. If you get 900k on every map, you'll likely place in the top 10, maybe even seed 1. Whereas if you get 300k on every single map from Nomad 1 to DT2, which you will have to play in order, you will get a lower seed. Now, players that play the map pool worse are going to get seeded lower than players that play the map pool better. It's a simple way to determine the bracket and how it should look. Now, this qualifier procedure will likely include a round of 64, which means 64 players will be able to qualify and actually play the tournament. If we have an influx of more than 64 players, then some people will just not qualify for the tournament altogether, and that honestly kind of sucks, I'm not gonna lie to you. Now, the scoring system that this tournament uses is actually a lot different than the scoring system that OSU regularly uses, where you can get scores upwards of 100 million. This tournament uses something called Score V2, a likely neglected mod in your mod list when you were playing OSU. Score V2 actually caps your score with no mod at 1 million, weighting 70% on combo and 30% on accuracy. Now, this isn't counting spinners and the score that mods add, so this basically just makes it way more rewarding if you are very accurate and can FC the map. If you FC the map with really low accuracy, your score will likely get capped at 700 or 600k. Now, if you have great accuracy but you happen to miss in the middle of the map, your score might actually get capped even lower than that, at just 500k normally. Now, if you and your opponent are both missing constantly throughout the entire map, but your opponent has higher accuracy, your opponent might be awarded with the points instead of you, which is unfortunate, but it's just the way it works. Now, equipped with this knowledge, now's a good time to definitely get out there and start focusing on your finger control so you can increase your accuracy as much as humanly possible. Now that you know how this specific tournament works and a little bit on how Score V2 works, it's time to teach you about slot pooling and what you can expect. Slot pooling. What the fuck is it and why do we need it? Slot pooling usually consists of maps from Nomad 1 to Nomad 6 to Hard Rock 1 to Hard Rock 3, Hidden 1 to Hidden 3, and so on. There usually is free mod for team tournaments, but I'm not sure if we're gonna have that because we didn't have it last year. Slot pooling is basically just there to make sure that the more well-rounded player wins. And it does that by putting a myriad of different kinds of maps in the playing field. I think we should just start with Nomad 1, which is your consistency pick, which I'm sure a lot of you actually know how to play already because it's one of the most simple skill sets to get into. So yeah, I'd say that's a pretty accurate visual representation of your average Nomad 1. Just basic aim, pretty bursty, a little bit of sliders here and there, just overall testing your consistency. Nomad 1 is basically just a consistency comfort check, and it's usually banned by seed, like higher seeds against lower seeds. Now Nomad 2 is a lot different. Nomad 2 is typically your tapping pick. What do I mean by tapping? I mean streams and just overall a lot more bursty for the player. Now in comes Nomad 3, your alt pick. You're going to want to have a lot of finger control on this, and definitely do not try to single tap the map. I think now is a good time to take your skills and learn how to alternate your fingers to the map. Trust me, it is absolutely essential. Usually you'll just see some basic flow aim with alt maps. Okay, don't worry, it's not going to be that intense. That's like a Nomad 3 for like 5-digit tournaments, and it's not even flow, it's like snap alt. Most of the time you are going to see flow alt though. For Nomad 4, it's basically just tech, you know what I mean? Tech, slider tech. Very finger control heavy on it, honestly. Like, it requires a lot more finger control than you'd think. Nomad 5 and Nomad 6 are very interchangeable. Nomad 5 can usually be speed in the later stages, or it will usually be gimmick in the earlier stages. Moving on to the hidden pool, usually you could think of Hidden 1, Hard Rock 1, and DT1 as like Nomad 1, Part 2, 3, and 4. But a lot of the times you will see tournament poolers pool them as a comfortability pick. So what you're about to see might look different, and my hidden gameplay kind of sucks, so. Now in comes Hidden 2. I hate this skill set so much. I hate it so much. This is your low AR, kind of like more reading pick. So you're going to want to be a lot more patient and read almost pattern by pattern, but not necessarily. You're going to want to slow yourself down and just focus on what's in front of you. Moving on to the Hard Rock side of the pool. I don't think anyone really necessarily needs a description of the Hard Rock mod and what it does. Usually it'll just turn your map from a regular AR9 map to AR10 and OD10, which really makes you focus on accuracy and following the rhythm. So Hard Rock 1. Hard Rock 1 is basically just a mechanics pick. Moving on to Hard Rock 2, this is your precision pick. Basically, you're going to want to be really accurate, and you're going to really want to focus on that minuscule aim of CS 6.5, sometimes upwards of CS 7, which is absolutely mind-blowing. I'm just going to remind you guys that the difficulties of the maps that you're actually going to be playing in the tournament are going to be easier than what I'm showing you. Like, a lot of them are just going to be way easier than what I'm showing you. I'm just giving you a general example of what these slots are, just so you can understand and know it's a pick and match. Moving on to the DT pool. Now, DT1 is basically just going to be another consistency pick, another comfortability check on DT. DT2 is going to be your speed pick. Honestly, you're going to see a lot more triples than you are bursts in the maps, especially since right now we are in the earliest stage, which is qualifiers. So yeah, there we have it. I'm out of fucking gameplay? Oh my god. I don't think me being out of gameplay matters that much though, because there's something I and a lot of the other staff actually haven't been telling you. This tournament, or rather the goal of it isn't just to allow 6 digits to have a fun time playing the game that they enjoy, although that is a huge part of the goal. There's something deeper behind the scenes, something much larger than just this tournament. Right now, we are looking for players that are capable of not only pushing themselves into the winning placements of this tournament, but to also push their teams into the winning placement of a tournament. Now teams, what do you think I mean by that? I'm talking about something called 6-Digit World Cup. The biggest stage that 6-Digit has to offer. A place where the most skilled and scariest faces of every country come to face off. Last year we did amazing placing 5th. But now we're looking for a different group of heroes to come and take the stage for Canada. Will you step up to the challenge?
The world is watching him. They want retribution on everything will freeze, and they are looking to take it all the way.
The story has been turned on its head. It is now Canada's turn. Not done. This is not done at all. They need to hold on.
There is a one to find the break, and don't wait there.
Check me out like a doctor. When I be rolling, I be hiding the copper.
次は君だ。